Hey, 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 it's the Madigans, and we're back for episode 7 of Moving with the Madigans.
Today we are going to talk about marketing strategies and what the market is actually doing. We've had a slight change in the market just recently. Well, this year's been quite good. A lot of properties are selling very well. So as far as marketing with a different strategy is probably an opportune time to talk about that right in the middle of the year, because we are very low now on supply of homes. So we're down to, we'll have 320 houses on market. This time last year, we had about 450.
So this time last year, there was about 100 to 150 more properties on the market. So it just shows at this stage in the market, as supply goes down, demand goes up. And we're definitely seeing that at our open homes, which is amazing. So we've got 4 strategies we're going to talk about today, which pretty much covers all, pricing strategies within real estate. And they are asking price, inquiries over. There's also the non-priced strategy, which could either go deadline, sale, auction, or tender.
That's right there. So there's about 4 there: asking price, inquiries over, deadline, which is deadline or tender, and also auction as the 4th. So if we go through the asking price, that's just when you put a fixed price on the property. So with the asking prices, although sometimes it's limited to the asking price, sometimes it can be sold for over asking if you've got multiple interested parties. But more often than not, the purchases will come at a lower level. So the vendor is putting potentially a limit on them by putting an asking price on it.
Have you used the asking price?
Not as much as inquiries over.
Yeah.
So inquiries over, if we just sort of slowly go into that, is a more of an indicative price where you could go, say, 950 plus as such.
Yeah, and I think with the inquiries over, it's important that people do realise that they can offer below that. They're not restricted to offer something over that. There's more chance the offer being accepted if it is over that inquiries over price. Otherwise, if it's below that, the vendor can say no, or they can negotiate.
We say the market is pure because if you have a low plus bias to view, which is, if you're really aggressively priced, which means you're lower than what your market price is, then you'll end up getting more people through the property, more offers, and then the price will shift up. So accordingly, it'll go to market price, being the market is pure. If your price is high and you don't get many people through, it'll take longer until you actually reflect on your price to drive down a little bit. And then once you get into market value, then you'll start getting more people in. We move into like the deadline and the tender. A lot of farmers will sell by tender, which is a tender document on a specific date after like a 3 or 4 week marketing campaign, where you will submit a tender and your conditions. So you can actually have conditions in your tender.
It's kind of like a ballot, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
You fill out a document, you're given a date, you fill out a document with what you want to offer, and then on the day that the tender's due, they take out all the offers.
That's right,
and
yeah.
Then, a decision can be made or won't be made.
Yeah, decision can or won't be made, or they can renegotiate or negotiate with the highest or the lowest or whatever. The deadline sale is pretty much the same sort of thing. You're going towards a date, but it's more of an open document like a normal sale and purchase agreement, and it can be sold prior if you advertise sold prior, or if the vendor wants to take an offer prior to the actual deadline time. Similar to if we move into auction now, where the auction can be sold prior as well, but if it goes to auction, you all have to turn up in the auction room and bid. Now, by bidding, you have to have no conditions at all. So, one of the disadvantages is that you potentially alleviate some of your conditional buyers. But the advantages of the auction is that you have a 3 to 4 week period where your conditional buyers can position themselves to get into a position to bid, and that everyone can see who's bidding on the floor.
Yeah. I think overall, if you price it aggressively or your vendor is motivated, then you are bound to get multiple offers on the property.
Yeah, like the lower the price, the more activity. The more activity, the more offers.
Yeah.
Price moves up. The higher the price, less activity.
And I guess the reason behind the price going up when there's multiple offers, if an offer comes in and there's multiple interested parties, we give them all the opportunity at the same time to make an offer. And so then all the offers come in at the same time. They're all presented at the same time. So you really have to put your best foot forward if you're making an offer.
Yeah, because you may only get one chance. You may miss that opportunity for an extra go.
That's why the price goes up.
If it goes to auction, and probably if we talk about strategy of auction, and the reason people do go to auction is because they're motivated more by timeline. So a timeline being an example is that they may need to leave the country, they may need funds for the bank, so like a mortgagee sale. So that is limited to a timeline where the urgency is more. We put a lot of urgency into that 3-week marketing or 4-week marketing campaign. There's no price on it. So what we do say in regards to people coming through is that, please, if you're interested in the property, have a talk to us at the end. We want you to give us an indication of what you think is a price so that we can actually then talk to the vendor, let them know what you're thinking so that they can set a reasonable reserve on the day so you can buy it.
Yeah. So in your opinion, with pricing and non-pricing a property, what are the key differences? Like, what are the requirements? What does that property look like?
So if it's just a stock standard, say 3-bedroom first home buyer or second home buy, then I think probably put a price on it, whether it's a price, asking price or inquiries over. I think that's probably the best way forward because first home buyers, they just want to know, or second home buyers, so they can get their finances organised.
Yeah, I suppose for them, they've been told, or if they've got a pre-approval, they're limited to that. And then they can see clearly, where they should be going. And what would you not put a price on?
So I guess the key to all this is that it's any property can be like an auction property, or any property can have a price on it. It's more about not so much the property itself, about the people and their motivation and what their goals are. So we try and strategically understand together what's going to move them forward to where they want to be without sort of causing too much stress and make it as seamless as possible. Obviously, as I said, if they've got a deadline, then we give them some options and suggestions around that deadline.
And some people, like you said, some people, they're more pushed by a date rather than a price.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, then you've got bank imposed, like the most popular auctions are mortgagees because everyone thinks they're going to get a bargain. So it's bank imposed.
And then they all rock up and then everyone's bidding against each other and they're getting this wild price.
That's right. And then so the market is pure. So that's what happens. So, the price drives up and it ends up selling for market price.
Yeah. So that's it from the Madigans today with episode 7 all wrapped up. As always, we are always happy to chat and answer any questions you have. Isn't that right?
Call us anytime and we'll see you at episode 8 next week.